Good morning, Sapadia. Yeah, we'll just give a couple minutes for folks to join us before we get started. In the meantime, I do have the risk disclosure up, so you can. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate that. Okay, so as I mentioned, I do have the risk disclosure up. Again, just wanted to remind everyone that the information I'm about to provide is general information about the markets. It's not intended to be investment advice. An offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. And an investor could potentially lose all their initial investment. Only risk capital, money that we can otherwise afford to lose, should be used for trading. And only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results here. Okay, so first order of business is to review of news. All right. So again, today, I would say another light day in news. Okay, we have a couple of members of the Fed speaking, okay, at 1:35 and I guess just before 3. All right. But otherwise, pretty light in the way of news. Okay. The only other event that I want to obviously remind you guys of is the European option expiration that happens at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So those are the only 3 things that I see here. So let's go ahead and move into the charts. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the charts here and start to see what the charts have in store for us today. So we're going to go ahead and open up our charting platform. Let's see if I can locate that here. What is... All right. Okay, so you should be seeing my charting form at this point here. I have a chart of crude oil, but we're going to go ahead and change this to a chart of gold here. So let's go ahead and locate the gold chart. Okay, here we are. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove our drawings. We're going to remove some of the indicators on our charts. And as we start every session, we always start with kind of a macro view of the market. We want to understand kind of what the general sentiment is, and we do that by starting with the daily chart. Okay, So you can see here, gold is again, making a jump. Okay, we're breaking. Like I said, when we shift the chart this way, you can see that we're making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, and if we move to the left, we get further context. We're breaking as in our flight up. We're breaking resistance along the way. Okay, so on the daily chart, we are very much bullish. Okay, in the market. Market continues to want to head higher. Now the issue is the question I've gotten. I think I may have mentioned maybe um, we don't have any reference levels higher, right? So really, the only thing that we have at our disposal is math. In this case, we can. I think I had mentioned a level based on the Fibonacci extensions. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and add this to the chart here in a second. I need to find the Fib extension tool, and we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so here we are. It's forecasting that we are going to head to 2586, maybe as high as 2600 in this market. And that's basically the extension of this, measuring this, okay, after receiving this pullback. Okay, this is just a forecast from here to here. Okay, that's what the Fibonacci extension tool is providing us. Okay, so that's kind of the forecast that we're getting on the Fibonacci extension. Okay, it's kind of leading us to this 2580, 2590 level as our target of this current swing. Okay, obviously there are some smaller swings in. This is obviously the major one. There are some smaller swings that we've already reached some targets as a result, but that's the one that's in play at the moment. All right, so daily very much bullish. Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and again remove some of these drawings. All right, again, we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. Structure remains to the upside. We're breaking resistance levels in our path and really don't have we're basically have green pasture here above us, right? We don't have anything that leads us to believe as to where this market could go here. Okay, so 4R equally as bullish. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, so I suspect that we have a fair number of actually a good amount of buyers in the market since the close of yesterday. Right, we were pretty much flat through most of the session. Okay, in gold, and when we came into the overnight session, we rallied. Okay, so in London, we've rallied higher. We are above our daily VWAP. We're above our settlement price, and again at this point, I'm inclined to draw my anchored VWAP right from the point at which we started to make this move higher. Okay, so this will serve as my reference level. Okay, for this move. And as long as we stay above this anchored VWAP, then my inclination is that, it's going to provide me an area where I can participate in this market. So 25.56 is the current level that I have in the on the chart at the moment. Okay, so we're going to start opening up some of these other levels, some of the other areas that we care about. And we're going to start off by looking at the fixed range volume profile, and we're going to open it up for Monday. Okay. Here we are. All right. So we're well above value. Again, another indication that we are in a very strong bullish market. We're going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay. So our initial balance right now is this is the range that we have. We're going to go ahead and open up ADR, and we're probably pretty close, and we've already to some degree exceeded it. Okay, with this candle here, we've exceeded ADR to the upside, and then we're going to go ahead and open up ADR and see if we can get this to. We've got New York. We're going to go ahead and move it for London here for now. All right. And then eventually we're going to go ahead and once the equities open up, we'll revisit this and see if we can change it back to New York and see what we get. All right. So as far as levels, okay, these are the levels that I have for this market. All right. Before we start talking hypos. Okay, so these are the levels that we're tracking. All right, we have 2561 average day high, average session range high 2558. Okay, and then we have 2522.7 as our average session range low. Okay, I have 2523. And then average daily range low as pretty close to the same level. Okay. So these are our levels. I'm just going to double confirm that we have the correct value area high, 25.45. That seems in order. Value area low, 25.34. That seems in order. Okay. So what to make of this market? Well, right now we need to figure out a way to get long. And where would those locations be? Well, we have ASR high, right? The top of ASR high at 25.58. This could serve as a logical location to participate. Okay, in the long, right? At some sort of pullback. The other one could be that we get an extension of this value area high range. And again, use this reference level as an area for us to participate. So those are a couple of bullish scenarios. I think there's a scenario in this possible, again, it appears that we are in a bit of a sustained auction to the upside, but we don't stay too far away from VWAP for very long before we make, a little bit of a pullback down back to it. Okay. Now, whether that happens today or whether that happens over the next couple of days, I can't predict. But what I can tell you is that we are eventually going to get some sort of pullback back to anchored VWAP or this daily VWAP, and that could provide us an opportunity for a continuation trade to the long side. Okay. On the bearish side, that's where it becomes kind of a little bit more challenging because we do not have any reference levels on the higher time frame that we can use and lean on to support a bearish trade in this market. All right, so we're gonna need to wait to see if we get some sort of initiative price action. In this case, if we get an extension to the bearish side, extending below initial balance low, and then potentially using initial balance low as our reference level for a continuation trade to the downside. Okay, but given the overall sentiment on the higher time frame, any sort of bearish move, the expectation is that it could be met with buyers. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well, right? Overall sentiment is higher. Again, in order to align with the higher time sentiment, we need to figure out ways to get long in this market without, and allow us to manage our risk. Okay. All right. So you guys can ignore the R's. The R's is something that is, I guess, being used by Top Step TV. Not exactly sure exactly what that means. We'll find out what that means here shortly. But these are our levels right now. Again, we need to figure out, and I've given you a couple of locations here where we can potentially entertain a long in this market. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for this initial balance range to kind of establish itself. And then once it's been established, then I'll be looking to see if I get any sort of extension to the upside. And oh, maybe it's to indicate that these are my levels. That is quite possible. That's probably it. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much what I have to say for gold. Like I said, we are in a very, I would say, bullish market. I do feel like there is some pullback here that we're going to get. We're starting to see some evidence of that with some of the wicks on the top here of some of these candles. I'm going to go ahead and open up volume delta here and see if we're starting to get some selling pressure. Okay. All right. And we are right. We're not, the pressure is pretty muted right now, right? We're getting equal amount of selling as we are buying. All right. This was obviously maybe a bit news driven. I'm not sure exactly what caused this, but obviously somebody with some big pockets kind of stepped into this market here. Okay. To the bullish side. All right. So in any case, that's kind of what I have for the gold market. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take a look, unless there's questions. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the crude oil market. Okay. So crude oil market here is on to the right. All right. So again, we'll start with the with the daily chart. All right. We'll click on the daily chart. And basically, we're trying to get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish here. Well, if you just start off with this, well, you can see that we are trying to move lower in this market. Now we are coming into an area where we could expect some buyers. All right, here at this. Let's see, trying to find my drawing tool here. Right here, right? This area right here seems to be an area where we're getting a little bit of reaction. Okay. So right. Okay. So you see that we're getting a little bit of a reversal in price. Okay. But we're still very much in bearish structure. Okay. We've come into an area here. You can see on the left, right? We have an area here on the left and indicates that we have some buyers. We've come back to this level again. We have some buyers. And now we're come back to this level again. So the expectation that we should get some buyers to come in at these levels. Okay. The volume delta is also telling us that there's a fair amount of buying pressure at these current levels. All right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn this off here. Okay. 4-hour chart is again, we had a pretty deep pullback, I would say, okay, from this swing. All right. And now we've come into an area where maybe I might even adjust this a little bit lower based on the 4-hour chart. Let's see if I can move this a little bit lower. Okay, somewhere in that line, along those lines, is kind of what I'm seeing on the 4-hour. Again, we had kind of opposite to what we were seeing in the gold, right? Right around at the start of Monday here, we got a strong push to the downside. Okay. We had strong selling pressure come into this market on the open or soon after the open here. And now we are in an area where, again, we can potentially see some buyers. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and look at this. This is the volume profile. All right, so I've kind of extended some of my lines that I track. So we're going to go ahead and let's see, change this to a solid line. We're going to move this line, and that'll be our point of control line here, right about there. Change that to a red color. And then we have this line here. We'll also make that a solid line. Okay, that's our value area low. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add our levels here. Okay, so like I said, we're coming into a market that's looking a bit bearish. So we need to see how we can find some bearish opportunities in this market. Okay. So right now, price looks like it wants to open inside value. All right. Or actually, um, some folks here are trying to bring price into value. Okay. If this does not hold, we could see another leg lower in this market. Okay. If we're unable to maintain price inside value, it appears to me that we could see another leg to the downside. Okay. Something along those lines. If we're not able to maintain this. Now, if we're able to hold this, if we're able to hold value, okay, it looks like to me that we could potentially make a full rotation up to the other side of value here. Okay. Right. This is the next logical area where we can see some sellers. Hey, Keith. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and open up our ADR, right? Just kind of confirm some of our numbers here. So we have ADR high here at 74.76. We have ADR low here that made a nice reversal here at the London session. Okay, it came down to ADR, provided us a nice bullish engulfing, another retest, and off to new highs we went. Okay. So 72.74 average daily range low. And then we're going to go ahead and add ASR here. Okay. So ASR, so we just got the open of the market here. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our initial balance range. Okay. Which is on the lower end of value. Okay. We have ASR here, which I'm going to go ahead and double check here. It's New York. Okay. We'll keep that there. All right. Let's see. We're going to go ahead potentially modify this. Let's see. We have 74.32. Okay. 74.32 as our average session range high. 74.32 average session range high. Okay, and then our average session range low is 72.74. Okay, so 72.74 is our average session range low. Average session range low. Okay. Looking at the order flow, right? We still have a good amount of sellers in this market. All right. You can see from volume delta. Okay, so I would say that the price right now is aligned, okay, with the direction of our volume. Right. So we need to be looking for opportunities, okay, to the short side. And like I said, if we do get a break of this value area low and potentially a break of initial balance low, I don't see any reason why we don't head back down to this ASR is ADR range that we created during the overnight. Okay, so we can come back and revisit some of the same folks that brought this market back higher. Okay. All right. So let's see. Where's my levels? Did I not include them? Let me go ahead and add the levels here, guys. All right. We'll just go ahead and double confirm them to a degree here. Okay. We could move this over to the right. Okay. We'll just kind of double confirm some of these levels. I think I touched on some of them already. 74.97 value area high. 73.45 value area low. And then we just modified our average session ranges, 74.32 and 72.74. Okay, so again, just to kind of summarize, right, is as long as price can stay above value, okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw an anchored VWAP here because that's kind of right about there. Okay, as long as we can stay above VWAP and above this value area low, it appears to me that price wants to head higher. Okay. Right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing. But price needs to remain above value. Now, the area that potentially is going to present some challenges here is going to be around 73.94, 74, I guess. It could present some challenges in this market. All right. If we do manage to get above, I don't see any reason why we cannot get back up to this ASR high, maybe up to ADR high, and maybe ultimately up to some of these levels here that we have here around 75. Okay. That's kind of what I feel like is developing here a little bit. Okay. So even though we are in a bearish market, I'm seeing some signs here that maybe this is going to be somewhat of a bullish day in crude oil. All right, I'm starting to see some evidence. We're above anchored VWAP. We are above value area low. If we do get an extension of initial balance to the upside, that could be the kind of the final piece to the puzzle here. Okay, so there's my levels. They were hiding earlier. Okay. All right. I think that's what I have to say for crude oil. Like I said, higher time frame is a bit bearish. Lower time frame, I guess I would say, is a bit more bullish. Okay, but I'm going to do demand that the market get above, let's say, 73.91. Okay, in order for me to really embrace the longs here. Okay, so if I stay inside this area, then I suspect that at some point we're gonna, we're gonna falter. All right, and we're gonna head lower. If we do manage to get above some structure here to the upside, that could be enough evidence, and that's also going to break 73.74, and that could offer me an opportunity to the long side. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the market. I do see a wick here, so indicating so there are some buyers kind of stepping into this market a bit. All right, trying to drive price higher. Volume seems to be aligned with that. Haven't yet seen any sort of green volume delta bars, indicating that the bulls, they're more bull trades than there are bearish trades. So we'll have to kind of wait and see in this market. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for crude oil. All right. So I'll be looking to see if this candle manages to close inside value. If we get a break above 73.87, that could offer me an opportunity to the long side. All right. So we'll go ahead and move on to the equities. All right. We're going to go ahead and start with the NASDAQ. Okay. Here over here on the left. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and close this. Okay, here we are. Here's the NASDAQ. All right, so we're going to go ahead and shut down some of these levels. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up the daily chart. Okay. Okay, so here we are. And again, what I like to do is I like to take the most recent swing, remove all the context, and ask myself the question, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, the market is trying to accomplish higher prices in the Nasdaq, and then I just kind of work my way through and say, okay, well, it looks like it broke some structure to the upside. That's also bullish. Okay, and I keep moving and say, okay, we're now come up into another level here that could potentially be resistant. All right, in this market. All right, in order to really kind of continue to embrace the bulls, well, we need to get above let's say 20,020, let's say, okay, to for a continued move back, maybe back to highs at 20,600, something along those lines. Okay, so this area right here could be resistant. Okay, because this was an area of prior support. This could offer us a location where we could see some price moving lower, right? Just looking to the left. Okay, if we do manage to break above, then I would say that we have evidence that we want to head higher in this market. All right, that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily chart. 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart, we have a series of higher highs and higher lows. We are developing a bit of a bearish engulfing candle as we speak on the 4-hour time frame, but it is in bullish structure. Okay, we're in bullish structure to the upside. All right. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Here we are right on top of settlement. Okay, we're kind of peaking below. I don't know. This it looks like we created a little bit of a double top here during, I guess, during Asia and also during London. Okay, and that has generated a potential move to the downside here. Now, what's going to be of interest to me? Okay, let's double confirm that I have the right volume profile here. Yeah, I do. Okay. What's going to be interesting for me, because there's nothing that is standing in the way of price moving down to, say, value area high here. I don't see anything of a consolidation variety, assuming that this is indeed accurate. I don't see anything in its way that would cause price to not to continue to move down to at least value area high. Okay, and maybe it moves down to point of control. All right, that's kind of what I'm seeing in this market here. So let's go ahead and add my levels. All right, or I should say add the levels. It's not my levels, market's levels. Okay, so here are the levels that we're looking at in the NASDAQ. All right. So we're going to go ahead and open up ADR. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of the range. We're above value, right? So that means that we have some bullish sentiment. Now we've gotten a break of structure here to the downside, right? If I again look at this, if maybe I take the most recent price action, right? We can see that we've broken, retested, and continue continue to falter here. Okay, price is now below our daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and add my anchor VWAP because we now have an established, I guess, a recent high. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my anchor VWAP and draw in my anchor VWAP. So again, if price remains below this anchor VWAP, my expectation is that we are going to continue to the downside in this market. Okay. Where would I start to consider maybe a bullish trade? Well, value area high, right? Because we are in an overall market that's bullish, right? Value area high would be a logical level. Maybe point of control. Okay, this point of control level could be another area where we could potentially expect some sort of bounce. But for now, I would say that as long as we remain below this anchor VWAP, we should be looking for opportunities to participate in a short trade that would take us maybe to some of these targets that I mentioned that where we could see some bounces. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to double confirm some of these levels here. We got 2029 on the high side. We got for ADR, and then we have 19,687 average daily range low. I'm going to go ahead and open up our session profile. We're going to go adjust this to London for now because we don't have anything else to reference. The market is still not opened. We're going to go ahead and move this up to London's levels. Okay. So here we are. We have 2114. Okay. 2114 as our average session range high. So I'm going to modify that to 20,114. Okay. As our average daily range high, and then average daily, not average session range high, and then 19,708 as our average session range low. We'll modify that 708. Okay. All right, something along those lines. Okay. So that's kind of this. The average session range will probably adjust again well, I'll be adjusting my average session range to the New York session when the New York session opens. Okay, right now we have the London session. That's the range that was established for the London session. But once the market opens for New York, I will be adjusting that. Okay. So again, what to make of the market? Well, I would say in the short term, we should be looking for a trade. Okay, that could potentially take us back down to value area high. At which point, I'll be at least looking for maybe an opportunity. This also takes us down to this average session range low in for London. Okay, that could also be an area where we could potentially get a bounce in price. The reason I'm kind of looking for a bounce is kind of what I'm seeing on the higher time frame, right? Higher time frame is indicating to me that we are headed higher. Well, if we're headed higher, I need to find a location in an area where I can manage my risk. Well, um, average session range low is one of those areas. Value area high is one of those levels. Maybe I can get to some sort of demand level here, some prior settlement prices. These are all logical price reference levels to support a bull and to support my higher time frame. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I can't take a opportunistic kind of bearish trade from our current levels down to some of these levels. Okay, but I have to manage my expectations on those trades. All right. Okay. All right. I think that's what I have to say for the NASDAQ. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any questions. I'm not seeing any questions. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the ES. Okay. Um, I, so this, I believe, is going to be our ES market. I waffle between ES and Dow. So right now, I think it's set to Dow, but we'll go ahead and modify that. So we'll change this to the Dow, not the Dow, the ES, sorry, S&P. Keep saying Dow. Okay, all right, here we are. And we're going to go ahead and turn off some of our levels here. And again, just focus our attention on what the market is trying to accomplish. Okay, so looking at the daily chart, okay, here we are. We are, again, just looking at this most recent moves. It appears that we are looking to head higher in this market. So as I move to the left, we see that price has broken some structure here to the upside. Okay, we are above some structure here. And again, we are inside an area right here where we could expect some sellers to kind of step into this market here. Okay, this area right here seems like a logical area for price to potentially stall. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing here, right? But I also understand that I'm still in a bullish trend. How do I know that? Well, I'm seeing newer highs and newer lows, and I'm inside this bullish channel. So until I get a break, okay, until I get a break below, and this is a daily chart now. We don't trade daily, but it's always good to be aware of what the daily chart is telling us. Okay. So I would say that until I get a break below, right? If I don't get a candle below this channel, then I would have to, again, continue to look for higher prices here. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance because we're still a ways away from this market opening, maybe 15 minutes. Okay. So again, we have a series of candles, we're kind of staircasing our way higher. Okay. We've kind of come up to an area now where we're starting to see some evidence that maybe, let's see why volume delta is not here, but I'll add it. Okay, here's our volume delta. All right, so volume delta is indicating that we have some selling pressure coming into this market. Okay, some selling pressure coming into this market as we speak. All right, so moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Oops, not the 15, 30. All right, so here's a 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and stretch this out here a bit. We're going to go ahead and turn off the channel. Okay, And I don't know, for those head and shoulder activists there, I do see maybe that we are potentially developing a little head and shoulder pattern here. Um, right. So this being the head, right? I don't know if others are seeing this, but this is kind of what I'm seeing, right? This looks like the head, right? This is the head. This is over here, the left shoulder, right here, left shoulder. And then this over here. Oops. What did I do there? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, go back. Okay, let's go back to this market. Okay, so right here is kind of what I'm seeing as the right shoulder. Okay, right. So that's kind of see a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern. I guess that's been established here. We are back inside value, so it is quite possible that we could see especially evident here in the ES, that we could potentially see a full rotation of price through value today in the ES. Okay, if price manages to close inside value and starts to break some structure to the downside, I definitely see point of control as our target, maybe potentially through the entire range of value here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add our levels here. Okay, we'll put those up here. All right, here are our levels that we'll be tracking in this market. First thing I'm going to check is our average daily ranges. So we have average daily range high. I don't need my volume. Oops. How do I shrink this out down a little bit? Okay. All right. So we have our average daily range high here coming in at 56.63. Okay. Our average daily range low coming in at 55.95. Okay. That's all seems in order. Our average session range. Okay, again, we'll probably need to adjust this, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in for London. Okay, all right, our London levels coming in at 56.80. Okay, as our 56.80.25. Okay, these are London levels. 25, and then our session range low 55.97. Well, that's not it. Where is 55.97? It seems to be our average session range low here. So 55.97.50. Okay. 55.97.50. Okay, is our average session range low. All right. All right. So with that said, I've already mentioned that looks like we might be looking for, yeah, ES is definitely in value. But the fact is that we're coming back inside value from above. So there is a possibility that we could see a full rotation of value here in this market. But yes, the fact that we are inside value could indicate range price action. But what I'm, I guess, noticing is that we've come from above inside value. So there's a possibility that we rotate through value. All right. If I'm bullish in the market, well, I would say that we'd have to wait until we got to ASR low, or something along those lines, or some sort of reference level here, maybe 5,600. Could be another level that we could look for a potential bullish trade in this market. But right now, it seems that the market is intent on moving lower. Point of control seems to like the natural target for this market, and potentially all the way through the entire range of value here. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the Let's see. Let's take a look at that. That's Monday. Okay, this is my volume profile. Here it is. So let's see. Started at 6:30. Okay. Let's do it from scratch. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and locate the fixed range volume profile tool. All right. Here it is. I'm going to locate the 9:30 bar for Monday, right about there. And then I'm going to drag that across to the 13:30 bar. Here we are. Okay. And then we're going to double confirm our value area high, 56.32. Yeah. So that's all seems to be in order. Value area low, it coming in at 55.97. That's still in order. Yeah, and then we have our point of control at 56.15 or 56.16. That seems to be in order. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm going to go ahead and extend this value line because that's going to be an important reference level for me, right about there. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the ES, Sergey. I think looks like volume profile looks okay to me now. I think it was okay before, but we went ahead and confirmed it. All right. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, guys. So these extremes of levels are going to be areas of opportunity potentially for me later in the session. For now, I would say that we could entertain a short in this market, and that could offer us an opportunity there. We are seeing our volume delta that's aligned. We have price and volume. Okay, transactions that are coming into this market are on the sell side at the moment. Okay, so price is aligned with volume, so indicating we could see further price heading lower in this market. All right. Let's see. See if there's any other questions. We'll go ahead and close the session off with a review of the Dow. So we'll go ahead and move and do that. Okay. Let's see. Change this to the YM. Okay. Here we are. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and open this up here. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings. We're going to turn off some of these levels here. Okay. And ask ourselves the same question we ask, okay, of the other markets, okay, and that is, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, again, if we are looking, at the most recent moves, right, we can see that price is looking to head higher, okay. Now we are coming into an area where we could potentially see some sellers stepping into this market, right? Look to the left, right? We have this area here at 41,100, 41,550. This area right here, we've already gotten a rejection away from it, is an area where we could potentially see some sellers. This is a supply area, okay? This is where we can see some sellers stepping into this market, okay? For our chart, also, again, we are in a series of higher highs and higher lows. We're coming into it again, an area, right? We're seeing some more. We're just kind of reviewing those daily candles in a little bit more detail. Okay, we are, I guess, looks like we are creating a little bit of a rounding top, but we've had that rounding top before, only for buyers to step in here. Okay, so we'll have to see. If it does break below, I would say, let's call it, what is this level here? 40,785. Then that could generate some momentum. That could generate some momentum for further downside move. Okay. Right. We need to get it below this 40,785. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, now 30, I don't have any levels defined for this market, so we'll go ahead and manually do these on the fly. Okay, So first order of business is that I'm going to go ahead and establish my fixed range volume profile here. Okay, there's our fixed range volume profile. I'm going to go ahead and locate our value area high, our value area low. Okay, right about there. And then our point of control, right about there. Change that to red. Okay. So from a value perspective, yeah, no worries, Sergey. I'm good. Just went ahead and confirmed. Um, okay. So here we are. So we have our value. Now we have our ADR levels above us here. Okay. We're just going to shrink that down here a little bit. ASR, this I believe is probably a supply zone that I established here. So we'll go ahead and turn that off since we have confluence between ADR high and that supply zone. So yeah, so I would say let's capture some of these levels quickly. Okay, so the market has already opened. Okay, market's opened. So we got ADR high here. Okay, ADR high. Coming in at looks like was that 41,208. 41,208. Okay, that's ADR high. I'm going to go ahead and now open up ASR with some confidence here. We're going to go ahead and modify this to New York now. Okay, so that should adjust here. Okay, so it did indeed adjust. All right, so we have our new levels, our new ASR levels here. So we have, what's that, ASR low or ADR low. So ADR high, sorry, ADR high coming in at, what is this? 41, I'm gonna call it 41,208. Okay, we have ASR high coming in at 41,234. 41,234. Okay, we have ADR low coming in at, let's see, coming in 40,780. 40,780. And then ASR low at 40,705. Okay. We have value area high at 41,015. 0515. We have POC coming in at 40,975. And then we have value area low at 40,924. Okay, so those are some of the levels. Right now we're inside value. Okay, we made an attempt here. We're going to go ahead and open up initial balance. Okay, there's our initial balance range. So I would say that as long as we stay below value, then we could potentially see lower prices in the Dow. Another area of interest for me is going to be to see if price manages to close below value, because that could cause price to accelerate to the downside. Now, even though price is moving down, we have a fair amount of buying volume coming into this market. So it's unclear whether this down move is going to be sustained. Okay, eventually this volume is going to be translated into price. Okay. So yeah, there is a fair amount of buying volume coming into this market here, and that's now changed to selling. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else that I should be calling out here. Like I said, right now we're inside value. I'm going to be waiting for price to either exceed value or exceed initial balance in either direction before I participate or potentially participate in this market. Like I said, it seems like there's a fair amount of buying volume coming into this market. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how the initial balance range gets established. And then from there, determine which direction that the market participants want to take this market. Okay. So that's pretty much, I think, what I have to share with the Dow. I would say that right now, I guess, similar to what we've been seeing on the other equities, it seems like we should be looking for opportunities to the downside. Is kind of what I'm seeing. All right, in this market. And if we are more bullish, then I would say that we need to wait for price to start to reach some of these levels below us. Okay, maybe value area low could provide us an area for reversal. Maybe yesterday's initial balance low could offer us an area for reversal. But right now, I would say that we need to see how we could potentially get bearish in this market, and look to see if we can get this participate in this wave to the downside. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it for me, guys. Just want to again wish you to trade well, to trade safe, to trade like a pro, and be a market trader. Okay, guys. So we'll have our normal regular session here this afternoon, group coaching. I will be at the Coach Ray's channel there in the Top Step Discord server. Again, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe and like buttons on your way out. Don't be shy about commenting on whether what I've shared with you resonates, whether it offered you opportunities, things of that nature. That's always welcomed. Okay. So until then, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have a good day.